lose for the Bulldogs. And Stanford will control first, their first non-conference heading into a conference season in the ACC and not Pac-12.
The thing we're going to get used to seeing is Stanford playing off that pinch post, that elbow area, split action. But instead of looking to get the ball inside, they're going to try to penetrate and pinch. They're looking for a three-point shot.
Janiyah Harriel, and they will open up with a three ball. How about the start for her? She's now 8 of 11 on the season downtown.
How confident can you be in shooting the three when you know you got that green light?
They lost Cameron Brink and Kiki Iriafen, their top 2 post players, and also graduated Hannah Jump, their all-time three-point shooter. So for the rest of the Cardinal, a lot of confidence in knowing that they all have an opportunity to shine night in and night out.
Well, and it's not just the guards that will shoot the three. You're going to see Agara, number 3 in white. You'll see Brooke Dimitri. She has shot the three, but now she's swinging inside and out.
Off the bounce and a bump and a foul. Nunu Agara, the sophomore from Minneapolis, will head to the free throw line.
And Beth, starting this season, Stanford was not ranked, and it's been a long time since that has happened. But I think that coming into next week, that's going to change.
It's going to change if they win here today. 2000, the last time that they were not in the preseason poll. By the way, neither was Tennessee. Also making a coaching change this year. It's the first time since 1976 that neither one of those clubs were in the preseason poll.
And I got a chance to watch Tennessee play. And
look out.
Hey, it's full court pressure, and they're a team, too, that's willing to put up the three ball.
Gonzaga offensively. Their last season, by the way, in the West Coast Conference, they will be on the move to the newly minted Pac-12 or Pac-8, whatever it ends up being next year. Long rebound, and it comes out to the card.
An area of concern for Stanford this year was going to be rebounding because they're a bit smaller. Like you said, no Cameron Brink, no Kiki Iriafen.
They do have Elena Buzgana, their leading scorer from a year ago at 6 points per game, but through the first 2 games, she's averaging 19.
Well, Stanford's going to find that they're going to have more driving opportunities because they are developing that reputation of being that three-point shooting team.
Here is Ejim on the drive, the kick out. Inesh Betancourt saves it, the transfer from UConn. And a long rebound as good as an outlet pass here for Buzgana. Their 2-year starter at the point, Lapolo, number 10 in white. She'll let it go, knocking it down. Timeout, Gonzaga, hot start for Stanford.
Stanford is perfect from beyond the arc. I told you it was going to be a new look. They are perfect from outside the three-point line.
Start here for Stanford right out of the gate for their first-year head coach, Kate Hay. 17 years an assistant. Also played here and was on the national championship team in 1992. And on staff for their title a couple of years ago for the Card.
Well, 17 years as an assistant. You notice that Kate Hay is still sitting in the same seat that she did when Tara was the head coach. She said she was comfortable in that seat. There's no reason to move 6 inches over.
Harriel, she's got one of the 2 3-pointers early on.
Gonzaga's got a gap defense looking to take away penetration, because when you have to rotate, if you're not there in time, you give up an easy layup, or if you're too early, that's when the three-point shots get open.
Esther Little rejected by Agara, and then Ejim picks off the pass. We get an open look for three. Passing it up is O'Connor, and Ejim for the nice bounce, and they're on the board.
Beth, at the table, Allie Turner for Gonzaga is a freshman, but this young woman, she can shoot the three, and she could free up the offense for the Zags.
O'Gara trying to get a second opportunity, and it will go to the Zags, and Turner will come on. She's out of St. Louis, Missouri, scored 18 off the bench in their season-opening win over Montana.
And she is not shy. Let me tell you, if she finds an opening, she's going to let it rip.
This is also a Gonzaga squad that knows they can beat the Card. They did it last year in convincing fashion up at the Kennel in Spokane.
Yeah, Ejim had 27 points, 12 rebounds in that game.
Here she is with the ball. And now Turner. Betancourt will pull up mid-range. Ejim. That won't go. And a foul on the glass. Gonzaga wants to test the rebounding ability of Stanford with that smaller lineup in place this year.
But one thing that hasn't changed from Stanford is the fundamentals. And you see all 5 players in white, when the shot goes up, they're looking for somebody to check out.
And that is the second foul on Vonnie Ejim, and the West Coast Conference Player of the Year is out of the game. O'Gara, nice backdoor cut, couldn't finish. Held ball gonna go the other way. So that was a big foul at the other end. Ejim is out for the Zags early.
Well, the good thing that Gonzaga has, they've got Esther Little, who has played just about every position there is on the floor. She can rotate, play inside and out, especially with Ejim in that early foul trouble.
And an issue with the clock. This is a point of emphasis this year for the officials. Wanting to be more mindful of the clock at all times in case there are stoppages like this or a hiccup in the system to make sure they have the timing on point. So a good job there. We've got a veteran group. Betancourt off the side of the glass, and here comes Stanford. Bazgana into the lane, and a trip to the line coming up.
And Bazgana being at 6'2", when she's got the ball on the break more times than not, she's going to have the length, the power. If she doesn't come out with the bucket, get to the free throw line.
Talking to Kate Pay about this year's group. You know, last year you had the go-tos inside, you had the shooter outside. This year, it could be anybody, any night. They plan on this being a very balanced attack that can come at you from all 5 spots on the floor.
And she complimented her team with putting in the work in the gym in the offseason.
Yep.
So, listen, you can trust your work when you know you put it in and able to knock down the 3.
They're getting it done on the defensive side as well. Gonzaga just 1 for 8. Now 1 of 9 to start. And finally, they'll get the bucket again. Second chance for Little.
That's what Little does. She is that blue-collar worker, number 0 in blue.
6'2" senior has spent some time with the English national team and in the starting lineup for the first time after 3 years of coming off the bench. They too have a lot of opportunities with 4 of their top 5 players gone from a year ago. Midway through this first quarter.
Mary Ashley Stevenson, I like that transfer. Number 22 that made the pass inside. That was the media Big Ten Freshman of the Year, transferred from Purdue.
That's Brooke Dimitri knocking that down, one of their captains this year, along with Talana Lopolo. On the drive, stripped free by Stevenson.
And watching Stanford play, what I like, Stevenson never stops moving. She has great energy. Well, she ran cross country in high school. She played lacrosse. This is a player that never gets tired.
Off the bounce, Chloe Clardy swatted. Good block by Little. The secondary defender coming over to help out.
Little just does a little bit of everything. Rotates over just in time to deny that layup.
McKinley Dallin comes on for Gonzaga. Tess Heel, another shooter out there, number 34 with the ball for Stanford.
She don't miss. Number 34 in white. She's got radar to the basket.
They're going to get Dimitri over the back. Dallin with a nice box out there. And her head hit the ground hard. I believe that's Little. A collision on the screen.
Yeah, you could hear how hard her head hit the floor.
Immediately, Fortier is out there. So is the athletic trainer.
I think it was a collision when Little was trying to get through a screen. And when she went down, you could hear.
Yes. Collided with Colordi. Help Little over to the side and get her checked out. And may go straight back to the locker room.
Yeah, that collision, I mean, she took the contact and then immediately just wasn't able to catch herself, and you could hear her head hit the hardwood.
Mont Hybens is in the ball game now. Claire O'Connor back out there for Gonzaga. Trying to find themselves offensively here. It's been a struggle to start. To the left hand, no go from Dallin, and another over the back whistle on the Zags.
Stanford getting rewarded with, again, the attention to finding someone to check out. They know that they're smaller, so you cannot just rely on a vertical jump. You got to make contact on the box out.
A little token pressure that time from Gonzaga. Here's Cardi. Goes away from the screen and then back to Aguera on the dive to the rim. Count it, and a foul.
That was terrific action off the elbow, and Clardy reads, rejects the screen, and then Aguero slip into the basket because the lane's open. Because you got to respect the three-point shot.
Nunu, one of their top reserves a year ago, averaged 5 points per game. She's averaging 18 through the first couple of games for Stanford, and gets the three-point play there. And it's the job here defensively that adds to it. Gonzaga just 18% shooting, only 2 buckets here in the first.
You know, other than the three-point shooting, not much has changed for Stanford. Their attention to defense and detail, the rotations are there, the on-ball pressure is there.
Back out to Betancourt. Shot clock's under 5, has to launch. Held ball, and this one will go to Stanford.
Looking at the rebounding stat, Stanford is +1 on the glass. Talked about the ACC being a guards conference. I think Stanford will fit in very well, making the trek over to the East Coast.
Yeah, the travel is going to be one thing to keep an eye on, but the competition on the court, they should still be pretty strong. Despite the losses to graduation and transfer. heel. She's going to have to prove that she can score off the bounce because everybody's going to be closing out hard on her like they did just there.
Oh, it is no secret. The transfer from Santa Clara, she can shoot it. You got to force her to put it on the deck.
Mid-range, and that one falls out for Hybens. Here comes Courtney Ogden, the sophomore from Atlanta. Nice hesitation to the left side. All Stanford early, including the last 9 points in a row.
Beth, we hyped up the offense, and they've got plenty of weapons, and they can score in a number of different ways. I love the reads that they're making, not just relying on the three-point shot, but it's also the defense that Stanford has brought today as well. And a lot of times when you know you're undersized, you focus on the little things that you have to do defensively and on the glass.
21-4. Well, you see Courtney Ogden. She was a top 10 recruit. Last year, they were very upper class laden, so an opportunity for players like Ogden and Aguera and others to step up and have a much bigger impact. A trip to Italy over the summer for this team helped immensely. Not just playing games over there, but it got them 10 more practices before they went. Kate Pay called it their summer season.
I think that's an opportunity for them to understand there's a change in leadership. Now the eyes go to Kate Pay. Tara no longer sitting in that first chair, and they have really embraced what Kate Pay has brought.
Boy, and another turnover for Gonzaga there. Staring at a 4-minute scoring drought. And a 9-0 run right now for Stanford.
And how fun is it, Beth, to call games when you see a team having so much fun? These players for Stanford just look like they enjoy. The ball doesn't stick, it moves, they share. They could have a different player being the leading scorer every night.
Kate Pay talked about not only chemistry, but connectivity and finding an identity, which early on here, small sample size, is looking like a really good shooting team.
Well, a tough defensively. They are willing to mix it up inside. Egypt back on the floor playing with those 2 fouls for Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think Lisa Fortier almost had to go back to her before this thing gets really out of hand.
The luxury that Kate Pay has, too. She can have a revolving door. She's got some depth, especially in the guard spot.
Cristobal Osoroba into the game for Gonzaga for the first time. Trying to get Ejim a touch, and instead, back-to-back trips for turnovers for the Zags.
Trying to feed the ball to Ejim on the wing is tough against Stanford. Better off trying to get the ball reverse, get it to the top of the key. Look at some high-low action.
Dimitri, the skip. Bazgana. Aguera, weak side. Trying to muscle it up. She'll give it another go. It's 11 unanswered for Stanford. 4-minute drought threatening to turn into 5 for the Zags, who've turned it over 4 times in 4 minutes.
See Ejim get down in the block, and the ball comes to the middle.
Shot clock's an issue. They're going to have to jack. And it does not hit the rim. Shot clock violation. Just 2 field goals for Gonzaga here in the first. And that may be all they get. Stanford can hold for 1.
You love to celebrate that, a shot clock violation, when you have played the full 30 seconds defensively and force a tough shot. Just continues to build the confidence in what's going on here at the farm.
And now 5 turnovers in 5 minutes for the Zags. Well, last year we could say it's going into Cameron Brink. Where does it go this year?
They got plenty of options.
The countdown from the crowd. Buzgana got it from the corner. Bonnie Ejim, may have gotten away with a walk there.
But it's a great opportunity to get her the ball in the middle of the floor, get her going downhill.
Last year's player of the year in the conference and the defensive player of the year, their only returning starter. She also spent her summer in Paris with the Canadian Olympic team.
I think that she could have a nice place in the WNBA, be that stretch four. She can handle the basketball. She's got tremendous energy. She rebounds.
And we'd like to welcome you to Tara Vanderveer Court at Maples Pavilion here at Stanford. The Cardinal leading Gonzaga 26-4. A hot shooting start for Stanford, and the Zags having some problems offensively. Beth Mullins along with Carolyn Peck, and moments away from Tara Vanderveer sitting with us courtside for a chat. The court unveiling here this afternoon for the Hall of Famer and the all-time wins leader in college basketball history.
You know, when you look at Tara's name on the court, she's got a name kind of like Cher. It doesn't even need the Vanderveer, just Tara.
And that is her, that's her signature. That's how she signs her first name. There you go. Good look at it. You know, it's always been her court, and now they made it official and put the name on it.
All-time winningest coach in women's basketball. She even has the jacket on that she got from Nike that has kind of
the hash marks.
Yeah.
Shot clock violation there for the Card. Both of these teams, a lot of shoes, big shoes to fill from their starting lineups a year ago. So both trying to find their identities here early in the season.
Gonzaga lost 66% of their scoring from last season.
Coming off the best year in school history with 32 wins and another West Coast Conference championship. And of course, Stanford back at the Sweet 16 a year ago, and then Tara announced her retirement in the offseason as they make their move from the Pac-12 to the ACC this year. Their top three players from a year ago have moved on. Turner for three, and that goes. It's a three-point shooting team that's been amongst the best in the country the last few seasons, and Stanford with the quick strike counter.
I told you, Mary Ashley Stevenson runs every play. She got great energy. Number 22 in white.
They have two transfers this year, just the second and third all-time for Stanford women's hoops.
Yeah, I was talking to Tempe, the assistant for Stanford. She said, Tara said, really, there's four. She mentioned a player by the name of Brooke Smith.
Oh, yes. It's been a rarity. We'll see if the portal opens up a little bit more for them in the coming years. They did tell us it's a little easier for undergrads. It's harder for grad students because you have to announce that you're coming here like now, early in the fall, and can't wait till the off season. There's Kate Pay, 17 years an assistant, former player here who was born here. Both her parents went here. She was a camper here when she was a kid, and now getting her chance, taking the baton from Tara after 38 seasons.
You'd have to say she's a Stanford lifer.
Yes, she is. Was a part of two of their three national championships as a player and a coach. Elena Buzgana, their top returning scorer from last year. Nunu Aguera. Good defense that time from Mott Hybens, the transfer from Syracuse. And then a foul and a collision. Buzgana knocking down Vonnie Ejim. the fifth year from Calgary, Canada.
And Gonzaga's got to create some offense out of transition because they have not had any success going against Stanford's half-court D.
Ejim is the one to watch there with the long blonde hair. One of the nominees for the Becky Hammond Mid-Major Player of the Year award. Stanford has kept her in check thus far, just 2 for 6.
Well, the lane has been so clogged for Ejim.
Clogged it again right there to force the turnover. The 7th for Gonzaga here in the first half. Nice hesitation. Apollo and a good counter from O'Connor to get the block. Stick around. We're going to be talking with Tara Vanderveer shortly. Now the unveiling of her name on the court today. Here comes Stanford on the move with the push.
And Tara's mom is here. Rita, 97 years old, and she's here to see her little girl's, the court being named after her.
It is quite the juxtaposition as you look at, there's Ruth. But that shot on the court that includes Tara's name, but also the brand new ACC logo that's in the lane, is still taking some getting used to for the folks around here.
I'm trying to adjust, but I'm looking forward to, we will get to see Stanford. I live on the East Coast in that time zone, so getting to see Stanford play even more often.
Yeah. Courtney Ogden. Played in 15 games a year ago. She's going to get a lot more minutes this year. Got to whistle off the ball underneath.
Yeah, Dimitri and Hyben got tangled up down low.
That, too, is another point of emphasis for the officials. The post-play and the off-ball fouls this year. Trying to keep some continuity and flow for the offenses. You know how America loves scoring.
Oh, yeah. They want to see the ball go up as much as possible.
And there's a foul on a Guerra. Strong move to the bucket for Hybens. Mott had 14 points, 8 rebounds in their opening win against Montana. They, once again, are the preseason favorites in the West Coast Conference.
Well, with Hybens being 6'3", she could use her height advantage inside, post up more.
In her 11th season as the head coach, and so happy to say in remission from her battle against cancer that started last February. She had her last treatment in October, and just tremendous support from the Gonzaga community, as well as, she mentioned, the coaching community. Had her back from day one.
She said she got so many calls and support from other coaches across the country, and she said she approached this kind of like how you approach a season.
Yeah, and the emotion of her last day of treatment with her team on hand. Just great for Coach. Diagnosed in February, surgery in April, chemo and radiation all summer. And now just fingers crossed with every checkup every once in a while. Back to the doctors, but in remission right now. As she is back with her team full time.
Yeah, she said she leaned into the community, leaned into the players, her faith, and she said, and the key to all of this was a positive attitude.
Yeah.
And she said she just had to stay positive every day to help her get through this.
Stay positive, stay strong, coupled with the fact that her husband Craig is on her staff as one of the assistant coaches. One of the feel-good stories to open up this new season around college basketball.
Betancourt ran into an elbow. It was a little friendly fire.
There's her husband. They have been the dominant force in recent years in the league. Of course, there's always that, Spokane fans up there have always been so great for women's basketball. We're always up there for the NCAA tournament. Back up there again this year, that carrot dangling out there. If you can get to the Sweet 16, you can play at home.
Yeah, because the fan support there is incredible.
Spokane and Birmingham, Alabama, I believe, and then on to Tampa for the Final Four this year.
I think this year is going to be as exciting as it was last year as well. It's got some great talent in women's basketball. You got the three-point shooting of Stanford. Got Juju Watkins at USC.
They're off to a 2-0 start.
LSU, Flajay Johnson and Anissa Morrow.
NC State and South Carolina going on the other network right now. That's a close game. A rematch of last year's national semis. And that's another 3-ball for Stanford.
Four for 5 from the three-point line. They are, look, efficient. It's not that they just freely jack them up. They take good shots. They make good shots.
No Cameron Brink, no Kiki Area-Fenn inside, so a little different ball game this year. Another turnover for Gonzaga. They announced their presence with an 18 three-point shooting performance in the season opener to let everybody know it was a little different. What's not different? That woman right there in this building, Tara Vanderveer, courtside when we come back. Got her courtside, and look, there's a notch for all 1,216 of those wins. It's Tara Vanderveer. I'm Beth Mowens, Carolyn Peck, and you're here for the first time watching your former player and longtime assistant, Kate Pay, and this Stanford team playing on a court that bears your name.
Well, Beth, it's great to see you and Carolyn, and I'm so thankful that ESPN is here to watch a great game. Stanford is off to a terrific start, and Kate is doing an absolutely fabulous job. So.
But Coach, your name is on the court. I mean, but you get to see that in front of your mom.
I know.
Who is 97 years old.
Right.
What does that mean to you?
Well, you know, I told my mom it's going to be on TV. You can stay home. And she goes, no, I have to be there. So my mom is sitting right up over there with my sister Beth and my mother, sister Marie, and Nick's here. And Heidi would be here, but they have a game against Arizona.
I heard your mom said that Heidi should have let the assistants handle it and come to the game.
That's what my mom knows about coaching. But what a great game, you know, and I like it when we're ahead like this, so I can just relax and cheer.
This is nice.
I love it. I love it.
I love the fact that as soon as you sat down, the first thing you reached for was the stat sheet.
Yeah.
How has it been for you now in retirement to find that, you know, life Stanford balance?
Well, you know, it's been different. And when I first came to the game, it was very weird. I have to admit that. But again, I'm so excited for this team and the job that Kate is doing. They are working so hard. The staff is fabulous. The team is just, I think, working so hard. For me, I'm working part-time in the athletic department as a coach's coach, and I'm going to teach a class, so that's exciting. So it's continuing ed through Stanford. I'm very excited about that. I've got great guests coming to the class, so I'm keeping busy.
All right.
Yeah.
I was reading about that, and you can join the class online.
Right.
I'm trying to find a way where I can sign up.
Okay.
Well, one of the things when we talked to Kate yesterday, you know, it's a bit of a different look.
Darn.
You've obviously had really good guards here over the years, but, you know, recent years, the post play has been spectacular. And she said one of the things she wanted to take from your years here was coach to your personnel, and that seems to be what this year's team is about.
Yeah, this team does not have a superstar like Cameron Brink or Kiki or Mecca or Chene or some of the great players that we've had, but they're all super unselfish. They're working really hard. I'm really impressed with how much like Chloe has improved, and a great addition of Tess Heel, and they're doing so well. Jania's hitting shots. I mean, Talana getting healthy. So many of them are doing so well. It's very exciting.
Well, Coach, you have, I think, known that Kate was going to take over.
Yes.
What gave you the confidence about Kate that knew she was the right decision?
Kate is first of all, she's brilliant. You know, she went to Stanford undergraduate, Stanford Law School and Business School together.
Wow.
She played professionally. She loves the game of basketball. She is incredibly loyal, hardworking. She gets along with people really well. I mean, she has great rapport with players, and she did a fabulous job as an assistant. I know she loves Stanford, and I know that she's going to do a great job, and she already is doing a great job. Yeah, Courtney! Awesome shot.
Yes. I don't think we have a chance of no cheering in the press box when you're with us here, courtside.
Am I not allowed to do that?
Look, if you're the
allowed to do whatever you want.
That's right. When you're the all-time winningest coach, you can do whatever feels good.
You had the other coaches in the league always talk about how you were such a giver, and Lisa Fortier talked about that. Three ball is good for Stanford.
Yeah.
But the way that you have left the game and the good hands that it's in, not only here, but what do you think about the growth and the explosion in the last 12 months?
You know, our women's basketball coaches, give a shout out to Lisa. She, you know, is dealing with some health issues, and she's so thoughtful, gave me a card before the game, and she does a fabulous job. The women's basketball coaches are so dedicated and committed to really teaching the game and growing the game, and this is such an exciting time in women's basketball, and we're all part of it. It's really fun.
Coach, you have seen the game over 40 years and how it has grown. What is the key factor to maintain the momentum that we have in women's basketball?
You know, I think that Carolyn and Beth, you guys are a big part of this. It's really bringing the game out to the fans. You know, we have a great crowd today. There's so many choices that people have, and as coaches, we have the responsibility to teach the game. Pete Newell used to always say the game is overcoached and undertaught. And we have to teach the game and grow the game together, and not let anything be divisive to in any way bring us down, but to keep building up on our momentum. Yeah, nice shot. Good job, Tess.
Well, we are thrilled to see another woman's name on a basketball court around the country, and a short list, but a very esteemed one. And what was your thought when you first saw it here on the floor?
You know, it's a little surreal, but that is actually my signature, so I was pretty excited about that. I want to, you know, thank Bernard and Stanford. I think Condoleezza Rice had something to do with this, but it's really a humbling and tremendous honor. But there are so many great women's basketball coaches and men's basketball coaches that love this game and just want to keep building it.
Final minute of this first half here at Stanford. Beth Mullins, Carolyn Peck, and Tara Vanderveer. 3 national championships, 14 Final Fours, and a lot of people with what was going on in the WNBA this summer and the Olympics this summer, a lot of people trace it back to 1996 when you were the coach. Another bucket for Stanford.
Yeah, Elena.
A fist pump for Tara. But that winning the gold, getting the gold back in '96 really was a flashpoint, I think, for the women's game, no?
It certainly was, and I think, you know, we built on that, and we need to continue to build on that. But the game is because we have great players, and the women on the Olympic team, Dawn Staley was one of them. Ruthie Bolton is here today. Katie Stedding, you know, Jennifer Azzi, Teresa Edwards, all these great players. No one's better than Katrina McLean. She's just fabulous. Cheryl Swoops there. You know, there were 8 times we've won the gold since then, and they kind of laid the foundation. But it's the players are so dedicated. They work so hard. You know, they love the game, and it's fun just to be able to talk about them.
Well, Tara, we appreciate the time here this afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enjoy retirement. She's back out there to start this second half.
Well, Gonzaga, they are picked to win the West Coast Conference, and this is a very talented team. I just think that, look, that summer experience has played for Stanford. They've got those days of extra practice, and Gonzaga's just got to settle in.
Inesh Betancourt off the miss, but then the box out was so good, no, everybody forgot to go for the ball, and she gets it. Ejim, a trip to the line coming up as she landed hard on her right elbow.
It's been a tough day for Egypt inside because Stanford has collapsed anytime she has gotten the ball down low in the paint. They know that's got it. They got to bring a double team to stop number 15 in blue.
She had 27 points, 12 rebounds in the upset win last year over Stanford right around this time, and there's her move to the left side.
And did you see all the white jerseys collapse in the paint?
She got in some extra practices this summer as well, Carolyn, and some extra games with the Canadian Olympic team in Paris.
That's just not any kind of experience.
And she's got a shot at being the mid-major player of the year, the Becky Hammond Award. She's on the short list this season.
And what Gonzaga's got to do is not try to get it all back at once, but you can't give up 3 open threes, not to Stanford.
Betancourt, the UConn transfer, comes out with it, running with Allie Turner. Open look, short.
And the freshman Turner starting for Gonzaga because Esther Little went down in that first half, hit her head. She's back on the bench, but she has not been back in the game, and she didn't warm up.
No, just 6 minutes in that first half. A couple of misses here early for Stanford. And Egypt did not see the trail defender coming, and she may have just picked up her 3rd foul.
But you see the tempo that Gonzaga's playing with. They're trying to run every opportunity that they can.
Looks like Egypt's going to stay on the floor with 3. Really don't have a choice at this point, trying to chip away at the lead, at the deficit. Ghana, the feed to Stevenson. Stevenson gets it back, goes to the left hand, and hits it. The Purdue transfer, who was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year last season.
The poise that she plays with as a sophomore is so impressive, Stevenson, number 22 in white.
Secondary defender comes and helps and gets the strip, Ghana. Just a little late on the feed down low.
I think Stanford has Gonzaga, they've sped up. They've got to play with composure in the half court.
Ghana floats in.
That's pretty.
She's well on her way to be a 17, 18, 19 points per game type of scorer this year for the Card.
Well, any given night, any player can be a leading scorer because it's not what, you know, last year it was to get the ball to your offense or to get the ball to Cameron Brink. This year, anybody is an option.
They are loving the opportunities in front of them. Egypt, second chance, missed twice inside, and here comes Stanford. Stevenson, got it, assist Lopolo.
That cross country is playing off for Stevenson.
Yeah.
That young lady likes to run.
Cross-country runner, back in the day.
Cross country and lacrosse.
Yeah.
That's a big field.
Yeah. Well, they're going to need to get used to cross-country because they're going to have a lot of cross-country trips moving from the Pac-12 to the ACC. A lot of miles to cover. We'll see if it plays on them or not as the season progresses.
You remember during the COVID season, Stanford played all of their games away from home, so it's not something the program is unfamiliar with.
And they ended up winning the championship in the bubble in San Antone. One of their 3 national championships. Yeah, so it's, I believe, mass substitutions now coming in for both sides. There's the titles. 29 seasons in between championship. I don't know if any other coach can brag of that in any sport. Speaks to the longevity, speaks to your ability to adapt.
The ability to recruit.
Yeah. That is something that a lot of folks are watching and wondering around the farm. And all Kate Pay's done is bring in a class next year that right now is ranked #3 according to ESPN Hoop Girls. So there may not be any kind of drop-off in that regard.
When you see that the players have bought in with Kate Pay, and to end the first quarter, the execution, that was huge.
There's the Ally tip-off still to come tonight on ESPN2. Iowa and Virginia Tech. A look at the post-Caitlin Clark era in Iowa City and the post-Liz Kitley era in Blacksburg, both with new head coaches.
Yeah, you've got Jen Jensen at Iowa taking over for Lisa Bluter and Megan Duffy. Kenny Brooks went to Kentucky. Now Duffy's taken over, moving from Marquette.
Good block for Nuna Igara. It's an 8-0 run for Stanford. Make it 10. Tess Hill, the Australian transfer from Santa Clara, off the bounce.
Well, and also Gonzaga's not playing at full strength. They've got 3 key players that are out with injuries, and this pace doesn't play to that when you have lack of substitution.
They got 10 available. Going to be a foul on Stanford. They're hoping to have Taylor Dalton, Lauren Whitaker, and Bree Salenbine back in the not too distant future. Lisa Fortier, who is also a former Tara. Well, she worked the camps when she was getting into coaching. Longtime assistant for Kelly Graves at Gonzaga, and now her 11th year in charge. And they are a constant threat to win their conference and make a run at the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, 20-plus wins in all 10 of the previous seasons for Gonzaga.
She said she's always been a big Tara fan, loved her competitive nature, the integrity with which she has coached. Chloe Clardy, 3 for Stanford. They continue to rain them down. That's their 8th of the day.
In the first game against Lemoyne, Stanford hit 18 threes.
New school record. Followed that up with 14 in the win against Washington State. And likely to move back into the top 25.
Oh, they've got to.
I think a lot of folks around the country were wondering just what would they look like? How would they hold up with the loss of their 3 top players? Appear to be in good hands right now.
Kate Pay said shoot the 3. Clardy said, I've got the assignment.
Well, it is going to be a Stanford road show this year as they move into the ACC. This is what it looked like last year. You know, not too bad getting out to Colorado and Utah and down to the Zonas. But a whole different ball game now with their ACC travel. 6 trips to the Midwest or East Coast, and 4 of those in league play. They're going to go over 21,000 miles in flights.
Last year, they didn't cross the Mississippi River. This year, they're going to do it several times, and they're going to do it in December. They got to play at LSU on December 1st. They'll stay in California. They play Cal December 13th. Then on December 20th, they will play Ohio State, and Ohio State's got a freshman, Jelani Cambridge. In her debut, 31 points. She's got some jelly to her game.
Yeah, and then that LSU game is a part of the SEC ACC Challenge. Mark your calendars, December 3, 4, 5. All the men, all the women, everybody into the pool for head-to-head matchups. Baseline drive, Ogden can't get it to go. Gonzaga looking for its first field goal of this 3rd quarter. They've started out 0 for 9. Just a couple of Ejim free throws to show for it, as the Stanford defense has been terrific.
Well, and trying to feed Ejim out on the perimeter or from the wing has been tough to get her an easy look.
There it is. Breaking through is Claire O'Connor, the sophomore from Bellevue.
They need more scoring from her. That's number 4 in blue.
One of several reserves that have stepped into starting roles. They've also gone to the transfer portal for a couple of others. Five straight years, by the way, for the West Coast Conference being a 2-bid league. So it's not like they're playing, you know, teams that don't have a shot at the tournament. They've gotten stronger.
Washington State, Oregon State, now in the West Coast Conference.
Portland was the surprise tournament winner last year to get the automatic bid. Gonzaga at large.
I'm looking forward. The poll comes out tomorrow. Where Stanford? Stanford's got to be in the top 25.
Yeah, remember last year there was absolute chaos opening week. 6 of the top 10 teams lost. So far this year, it's been pretty much chalk. But notable would be Indiana losing at number 25. Creighton losing at number 21. There's going to be some slots opening up for the Cardinal. Buzgana got her feet right. Ejim with the rebound.
This is a better tempo for Gonzaga, but I don't know if they've got enough in the next quarter and 3 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like they're down to 9 available players right now. You know, early in the season, you haven't quite established maybe your 7 or 8 man rotation. You're still looking at a few people for depth.
Well, and especially when you're trying to fill in the gaps from what Gonzaga lost from last year. Brenna Maxwell, the Trong twins.
Yeah. They've had the West Coast Conference Player of the Year 5 of the last 7 seasons, including Ejim a year ago, Trong the year before that. There's a youngster to keep your eyes on, Allie Turner, the freshman out of St. Louis.
Coach Fournier, when she talks about this freshman, she uses the term fearless in talking about Turner. Oh, that's a big move.
O'Gara foul. It's a different mentality. It's a different skill, right? When you got a freshman like that that wants the ball, sometimes they want to defer to the older kids. 18 points, 5 3-pointers in the opening win against Montana to announce her presence.
Well, and watching her in her last game against Montana and just watching her warm up, she's got terrific handles. She can go either direction, and the confidence in her shot.
Here's Nunu O'Gara, the sophomore from Minneapolis. High school All-American. Last year a reserve, now a key cog for them. And they will be joined next year by the number 3 ranked recruiting class behind LSU and North Carolina. Haley Swain, the guard out of Atlanta, will be a big help when she arrives next year.
You know, one of the things I was surprised, Beth, was when you looked at the ACC preseason list, what a Stanford player on it.
And 7th in the preseason poll. We'll see how that plays out. Notre Dame, the favorites. They're trying to boil her up later today.
They are.
I know you're going to be scoreboard watching for that one.
Hannah Hidalgo show.
Olivia Miles back on the scene with a triple-double after she lost last year to injury. Harrio had to give up the 3, and then they find another shooter in Lapolo.
That's just an example of the willingness to give up a good shot for a great shot. The ball does not stick for the Cardinal.
9th triple. And likely to get to double digits for the 3rd game in a row. Final minute of this 3rd quarter. Good hustle for the Zags. Nice pin down inside, but not the finish for Hydens. LaPolo, nice dish. Aguirre couldn't quite finish. And the shot clock now off.
There's 17 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, they are going to reset it, yeah. So they will need a shot attempt before the end of the quarter. Ogden not going to wait that long. A little off balance, went up through the bottom and back down.
That's one way to get to.
Don't see that every day.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Can't do that in reverse. And that's an armbar foul on Ogden up top. As the song says, Carolyn, you got to go around the outside. You can't go up through the bottom and back down.
You know, you read the rule book, but I've never seen that happen where it goes up and then comes back through and they count it.
Betancourt to inbound, final 5 seconds. Here's Turner using the screen. The double comes, and that one was partially blocked by Harriel. Zags wanted a foul.
James, I don't know how she does what she does off the court, and then her game, she also has taken it to another level.
Got to study, you got to rap, you got to be on college game day like she was
everywhere.
Yesterday, yeah. Good for her. And Juju Watkins, USC starting out 2-0, could be a huge winter in Los Angeles for the Trojans and the UCLA Bruins. Don't forget, by the way, coming up later this week, Friday night, you got North Carolina and UConn. Gino could tie Tara on the all-time career wins list. Saturday, Louisville at Kentucky, if you want to see Kenny Brooks and Georgia Amore now at Kentucky. And then next Sunday, NC State at TCU. Haley Van Lith now in Fort Worth. Oh, by the way, NC State struggling through 3 against South Carolina, the top team in the country, looking strong again with the return of Ashlyn Watkins from suspension today.
But you mentioned Kentucky, not only Georgia Amore, but Clara Stratt. She is similar to Elizabeth Kitley, so that combination of Amore and Stratt in Lexington, that's going to be something in the SEC.
Today, it's been all about the balance of Stanford. Everybody's scored. 5 different players have hit threes, and the defense has been locked down on the Zags through the first 3 quarters, trying to avenge a loss to Gonzaga this time last year.
And the luxury that Kate Pay has in the rotation, keeping fresh bodies on the floor.
Mont Hybens will get a trip to the free throw line. Mary Ashley Stevenson coming on here for Stanford. Hey, coming up later tonight on ESPN, how about the 6th-ranked Gonzaga men taking on Arizona State? That's 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on the men's side on ESPN. Big State Farm Classic 2 coming up on Tuesday with #1 Kansas.
Speaking of Arizona State, their former coach, Charlie Turner Thorne, in the house. A former Stanford Cardinal.
David Shaw, the former football coach, is here with his family. We've had a Ruthie Bolton sighting earlier, a former Olympic player under Tara Vanderveer in 1996. If you're looking for something to Google while you're watching the game, by the way, go back to look at the '96 Olympic team when Tara took an entire year off because we had to win the gold medal back after losing it in 1992. That was before the WNBA. That would arrive the next year.
And what has the U.S. national team done but gone on and won 7 more? So a total of 8 gold medals.
Yep. Another 3-ball. Good from Harriel, and into double digits now. That is 10 triples for the Card.
Didn't she hit one falling down earlier?
She did.
So a hand in her face doesn't even matter. Harriel is locked in.
Shot clock winding down. And a foul off the ball. Should we get some tongues wagging too on social media and on the talk shows tomorrow? Remember, 1996, the United States did take Rebecca Lobo right out of college off of a national championship at UConn.
You just want to stir the pot, don't
Caitlin
you?
Clark.
Stir it up, Beth Mullins.
Angel Reese.
Well, the future is bright for all the talent in women's basketball. The committee's got plenty to choose from.
And as frustrating it is to hear some of the conversations that are off base, it is great to hear so much more chatter about women's sports and about women's basketball and in the headlines and on SportsCenter. And it's going to be exciting to see who, we know kind of who the stars are to start out the year, who might be the other breakout stars on and off the court. How about a look at the mock draft Michael Vopel put together for next year? Becker's likely to be the #1 pick.
Well, it depends on what happens with the lottery next Sunday. I'll be there for that. But what if LA were to get a Paige Beckers? Put her with Cameron Brink?
You know, the league would love those big markets with big names. After the New York Liberty won their first championship this fall.
Got Olivia Miles on the list, but she's going to have another year of college. She'd have the option to come back.
Might it depend on whether they can win a natty this year. There's Allie Turner from deep. Speaking of a glimpse of the future, just a freshman playing in her second collegiate game. Bosgana off the mark. I think one of the challenges, right, for a team that is shooting a lot of threes, maybe new to shooting a lot of teams, right, from your coaching perspective, sometimes it's not necessarily about whether or where you're open, but what kind of quality shot it is, and when are the best times to take those threes.
Well, so far, I think that Stanford has made good decisions of taking, but it's what do you do on those nights that the threes aren't falling? Are you going to live by the 3 or die by the 3? That'll be something interesting to see. I mean, going in December when Stanford plays LSU, you know Kim Mulkey's team is going to bring tough defense. So now if they run you off the 3-point line, what kind of quality shots are you going to get?
Runner into the lane for Elsa Robo, the freshman from Spain. They really like her length. They love what she does on the defensive end.
I think this is going to be a tape that 48 takes and dissects. And what I would take from that are the good things, the opportunities where you were able to take advantage of the pressure defense Stanford brought and now carry that over and do that more consistently.
6:39 to go on this one. Cardinal in front. this for a Tuesday night on ESPN with men's hoops and the new college football playoff reveal. It starts with #1 Kansas and Michigan State at 6:30. Then Reese Davis and the fellas will talk about the new top 25. And then back to hoops with Duke, Kentucky, 9 Eastern. That's a nice little Tuesday night coming up right there.
Get to see Cooper Flagg, the Duke Blue Devil. There's some shakeup in college football happening. Georgia Tech knocking down Miami. Ole Miss beat Georgia.
Stevenson gets that one down, and that is another three-point shooter added to the list. That's the 6th different Cardinal to do it.
Everybody's got the green light to let it fly.
Well, you know what's on top of the scouting report the rest of the way for the Cardinal, as well as for Gonzaga's Allie Turner, trying to match him outside.
I was watching the Cardinal warm up. Like, when they shoot threes, it doesn't hit the rim. Like, they are going all net.
Off the skip, they'll try again, and another triple. Chloe Cardi, she was already on the list.
But that's 12 threes for Stanford already today.
12 for 21, so they are staying above 50% on the season. Putting up big numbers, big attempts.
We were talking to Katie Stedding before the game, and she said, you know, when they were in Italy, they didn't shoot the ball this well. But finally, I think you get used to it, you get the confidence. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, they're unconscious now. Another one from Harriel.
And she's doing it with a face mask.
Yes. Actually, a broken nose after they got back from Italy. Perhaps they had heavy feet from all the pasta, Carolyn. They couldn't shoot it quite as deep.
The pasta and the pizza.
Yes. On the run and the block now from Allie Turner. Under 5 to go. O'Gara knocks it out. We got a timeout on the court, under 5 to go. A total team effort. Putting on a show for Tara Vanderveer in the building with her name now on the court here at Maple. As you check out the Stanford three-point shooting, they are lights out on Tara Vanderveer, and fittingly enough, Amy Tucker by her side as she's been throughout here with the Cardinal. Seem to be enjoying their retirement now that Tara's name is here on the court.
And Tara was turning around talking to her mom, Rita, that's 97 years old. Ooh. Tara told us she has a neighbor that flew in that she hasn't seen for 50 years to be a part of this court naming.
But one of the highlights of the retirement, certainly the jacket that she had with all the check marks for her 1,612 wins. She was telling us off camera how excited she is for Gino Auriemma, who will likely take over the top spot next week as the winningest coach in college basketball history. But to have her family and her friends here today, to see how the Stanford community embraced her, the football players, the baseball players, all the stud athletes they've had come through here over the years.
And she was even joking about that. If Gino breaks her record, ESPN, we need to zoom her in.
Yes, she said, I'd love to join.
There's Rita, her mom, 97. That's fantastic.
Yeah, her two of her sisters, Marie and Beth, are here. Her brother Nick is here. She is almost all the way through recovery from hip surgery, and then she will be able to get back full-time to her swimming, her water skiing, and all the physical activities she's loved outside the game. They are reviewing right now that last basket. We
After
do have
review,
push to talk technology, by the way, this year in
foul.
women's. And there it is, my Forsberg. So just a common foul.
But Hyben's got the short of the stick on that one, man, right to the face.
Not common for her.
No, not at all.
Mai out there with Michael Price and Chuck Gonzalez, the veteran crew. We were teasing them. Did they bring back the group of officials that called Tara's first game here 38 years ago?
I think they did.
They sort of laughed. I'm not sure. This is a quality group. It's been all Cardinal right from the start. And Gonzaga showing some glimpses of what they might be capable of once they get back their full complement of players. An injury earlier to Esther Little, only played about 5 minutes. She's back on the bench. Hopefully she's good to go in their next game. And then they've got 3 other players that hopefully will all be back before the Christmas break that will be major factors as well.
Gonzaga will be a force to deal with, especially once they hit conference play.
And here is Hyben's last year's WCC 6th Woman of the Year, who has stepped into the starting role this year.
Hyben's last year shot 53% from the floor, almost 41% from the three-point line.
As you know, Carolyn, through your years on the sideline and then watching from on this side of the court, quite often early season it's a little sloppy, you know, and that has not been the case at all for the Cardinal.
You read my mind, because I was thinking of how disciplined Stanford has stayed in what they do, both offensively and defensively, even with such a lead.
And even with all the new faces in new places, the continuity from Tara to Pay, obviously, but also that whole staff is experienced, so many of them Cardinal experience. And then even though they lost their top 3 players, they have 9 returners who know the system. So it's encouraging. If there were questions about Stanford in the offseason, I think they're answering a lot of those here in the early part of the series.
Well, and with the rotation that Pay has been able to sub players in, there's not a drop-off when she goes to the reserves.
And you better be ready to defend the three-point line when they come to town.
Lisa Fortier said that Stanford, they don't make a lot of mistakes. They are very fundamentally sound.
They're going to play the likes of Indiana and Ohio State and LSU in the non-conference, and then, you know, around the ACC, Notre Dame, Louisville, Duke, North Carolina,
It'll be interesting.
NC State.
It'll be interesting to see how Nunu Aguera fares against the size that you're going to face also in the ACC. Now, I like that last move. She came in solid, going off 2 feet, using the shot fake, but there's going to be more length when Stanford faces the ACC.
If there's a question, perhaps, can they rebound the way they have in the past with the great post players?
Well,
we'll find out.
You cannot rely on out-jumping people, and that goes back to the fundamentals of boxing out that Stanford does so well.
I'm assuming this might be posted in the locker room, a little motivational material with Stanford coming in preseason number 7. Of course, it also speaks to the depth of the ACC.
Well, these rankings come out before the pollsters actually get to see the product on the floor. Now that they've seen it, that's got to change.
Might have a redo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shea Ijiwoye, the freshman from Phoenix, is out there, number 6 in white. And another substitution coming on will be Stavi Papadaki, the junior from Greece. So
you couldn't wait to say her name, I know.
I was looking forward to that. It's just got a certain ring to it.
It really does.
All of the regulars were able to score today. Good balance for Stanford. And some good lessons learned for Gonzaga. Got to take better care of the basketball. One thing that Lisa Fortier was talking with us about last night was Stanford's going to take away our first option. We got to know what our second and third are, and we got to know that they're effective, and they're going to find out.
Yeah, you have to have that kind of patience when you're going against a good defensive team. Offensively, get to that second, third side, reverse the basketball, so you catch the defense as it's in rotation.
Most important of all is seeing Lisa right there on the sideline. In remission from cancer. And hoping to stay that way. Just fantastic. The support from the Gonzaga community, from the women's basketball community, all the coaches that reached out. She said it meant an awful lot.
When you have that kind of support, it makes it a little bit easier to have that positive attitude that you need.
The out-of-bounds play is under review.
Oh, they're taking a look at the out-of-bounds. Of course, still early in the season, too, for the officials. They want to make sure they're crossing their T's and dotting all the I's.
We joked about the experience of this crew, but I think they've done a superb job tonight.
Aren't the best ones the best that you rarely talk about?
That's right.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell if that touched anyone on the pass.
After review, the out-of-bounds play is overturned. It'll be Stanford basketball with 12 on the shot clock.
I think it came off the big toe of Ejim.
So 12 on the shot clock, 1:37. On the game clock, Stanford inches closer to a 3-0 start to the season. Oh, almost scooped up and in. Crowd wants Ijiwoye to get some points. Tell you what, Maud Hybens is going to be a handful trying to keep off that low block around the West Coast Conference.
I think if Hybens and Ejim get that high-low option working together, that'll open up the offense for the Zags.
Well, there are moments that you just treasure, and you know, Kate Pay talked about how grateful that she was to be able to take over this program. How grateful and how much fun we've had today to be here to witness the unveiling of the Tara Vanderveer Court. One of the all-time greats, the career wins leader, 3 national championships, Olympic gold in the Naismith and the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. She's had plenty to cheer about today as Kennedy Ume, the freshman from Maryland, gets the bucket.
Well, and Tara has been such an ambassador for women, not just women's basketball, but women's sports in general. We talked about the class that she's going to start teaching. She said Steve Kerr is coming in person.
You're signed up for this class, aren't you?
Lisa Bluter, the Agumake sisters are going to be there. Everybody, she said, the who's who want to be a part of this class.
Tuesday nights, I believe. Check it out online. Not just coaching, but teaching. Ume! Oh, and the assist for Ijiwoye. The 2 rookies combining.
I think Stanford has put the ACC on notice.
Papadaki with the foul. That's the first on Stavi. Nice moment here, the start of things to come.
Yeah, the future's bright. There's depth from the returning players, the new ones coming in. You talked about the recruiting class that's coming next year. I think you're going to continue to see Stanford maintain its success.
The best sign of good chemistry is when the regulars go nuts, right? When the players late in game get those baskets.
I think Nunu Aguero, she almost got a highlight. She was so excited down there. This made her presence felt. She's a strong body inside. She commands that space.
I think, what are those ladies talking about guard-oriented? Wait a second. Get my 6'4" frame out there and show BMO and Carolyn what she's made of.
Well, Ume's got some moves. When we came in, the DJ was rocking, and she had some dance moves. Very agile post player as well.
A glimpse of the future. Stanford's going to get the dub over Gonzaga to improve to 3-0. The Zags will fall to 1-1. And good lessons learned that they can build off of moving forward. As the final seconds tick off, all the regulars scored for Stanford. They hit 13 threes, and they hold Gonzaga to just 34% shooting. Getting it done on